There we go. Jeez Louise. Ah, got it. Okay. There we go. Jeez, I think I was having technical difficulties. Sorry about that. I just found out today when I was posting the link for this live stream that Patreon has a new feature where you can go live straight from Patreon. And I'm going to play with that a little bit, explore it, and see if it's see what it's all about. It might be a better option than doing it straight from YouTube like I've been doing it. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. So let's talk about this new moon. I'm going to get the comments pulled up where I can see them on my phone. And we'll get started. There we go. So this is our chart for a new moon. It's actually happening. Oh, I need to move it up a couple. Hang on. I changed the time zone so it's there we go. Moon 0022. Perfect. Perfect. Awesome. Get rid of notes here. So the Leo full moon that we just had, we talked about self-expression and just being confident in yourself so you can express yourself, being confident in who you are, and not trying to figure out like what should I express of myself based on everyone else and what they think I should express, like your true expression of yourself with a capital S. How do you do that though? Well, luckily we have Virgo in the zodiac, and Virgo is this place of discernment. It's where we make the plan, the blueprint, where we put it on paper and figure out exactly what it is we're going to build, what it is we're going to do, how we're going to do it, what we're going to use to do it, all of those things. This is what the Virgo space is for. Anywhere you study, libraries, classrooms, learning a new skill or trade, it could be like wherever you have an apprenticeship, a doctor's office, in the room where they're diagnosing whatever's going on. These are all Virgo spaces. It's where you figure things out so you know how to move forward, because it's mutable. It's ruled by Mercury, right? So there's the go back and forth. You have to take something from this way so you can move it this way. It's not all about things coming in or things going out. It's where we can look at things objectively, where we can break them down, analyze them, get to the root of what we need to take care of, and then figure out steps to take care of that thing, to do what it is we need to do. It's where we find direction. What study path should you take so you can have the career you want? What sort of therapy do you need to put in place to get your body healthy in the way you want it to be? How do you even start answering these questions, right? I think the first thing you have to do, man, And this is going to be crazy because we're going to have another new moon in Virgo. See, this new moon, the sun and the moon are at 0 degrees of Virgo. They just went into Virgo. So we're going to end up having another new moon. This is, maybe I should do a separate little video on black moons and blue moons and the different things those can mean, because I think that can be kind of confusing. Like, is it 2 new moons in a month or in a sign, or 2 full moons in a month or in a sign? So maybe I'll do something on that separately from this. But we are going to have 2 new moons in a row in Virgo, and this is the first one, and we're at 0 degrees. So we've just entered this space, right? We're at the very beginning of figuring out how to make the plan. The key is hidden within yourself, of course, but it's what sustains you. This is the first thing you have to think about. What is it that you connect with, right? This is how we're going to create our space for self-expression. Think about the things that will keep you, when I say sustained, I don't just mean like what's going to feed you right now, what's going to take care of your hunger right now, what's going to take care of your physical needs, your mental needs, your emotional needs right now. I mean, what is something that you can use that will be an investment in yourself that's going to last for a long time? Anytime I think about like Virgo and especially the earth signs, I always think about that. Give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. Teach a man to fish. And, you know, Virgo is where we learn to fish. So it's the thing that what kind of fish do you even like, right? Think about that. What kind of fish do you like? What kind of fishing pole do you want to use? What kind of water do you want to fish in? These are Virgo questions. You find that in like your Venus, right? The things that will sustain you are the things that will bring some sort of, that will feel good in a physical way, right? Things that Venus's connection, and it's an emotional type of connection, but it's caused by things that we can use our senses for, tangible things that we can see. I like to look at this. This brings me pleasure to feel. I love the way this blanket feels. I like the way this color looks in my room. I like for my car to smell like this. I like this food because of the way it tastes, or, you know, this tea, or I like this kind of music. I like the way it sounds. Anything that you can use your senses with, that's your Venus connection. And you use that Venus connection to find what sustains you. These are the things that bring me peace, that calm me down, that help me regulate myself, my emotions, my thoughts, my physical body, all of these things. It could be working out. It could be sitting in the sauna. It could be maybe you just like to sit on your back porch, or you like to read. Whatever place you can picture yourself in, use your senses when you're in that space of like calm, serenity. This feels really good physically. What are you looking at? What are you smelling? What are you tasting? What are you hearing? What are you touching? Use those things to create your Virgo space. So now you have a setting around you that you're completely comfortable in, that you can relax in, even if you're doing something that's not relaxing, like working out. But you're in that space where you can think, your thoughts can flow. And that's the whole point, is to get ourselves to a place where we have room to think, right? You get to that place, then you can start thinking about, well, how do I do this and how do I do that? if you can't even get to a place where you can think, where you can sort of not like shut everything else out, but where you can center yourself, then it's hard to think about what needs to be done when you're dealing with what is going on right now. You know, you have things to take care of right now. You can't even start thinking about what needs to be done later. So create a space for yourself. Add little touches here and there. Get a gym membership, or if you're like stuck in the house and you can't get out, just do you have some little trinkets that you like? What are some of your favorite quotes? Write them down and tape them to the wall. Like, just create this space of, I'm good now. It sort of take you out of that fight or flight that the world puts us in sometimes, and get to that mental, physical connection space. You can also, Robert Greene uses this term primal inclinations. He's the guy that wrote the 48 Laws of Power and Mastery and like all these other books. And he's all about like finding your purpose in life and how to like do your purpose and that sort of thing. And he uses the term primal inclinations. And it's the things that we're connected to, the things that bring us joy, bring us pleasure. When you're talking about expressing yourself, like with the Leo full moon, expressing yourself with confidence, it's not just about creating this one thing or I'm going to do this thing. It's a state of being. Fire is about our being, right? So it's about your state of being. You are presenting your true self to the world all the time. You are expressing that self. You are letting the light of your sun shine, and it's not being affected by anything else. The sun has to have room to shine. If it's crowded, then, you know, if you got a black hole coming in, obviously that's going to take its light away. If it's being like bombarded with whatever else, that's going to affect its shine. Your Virgo space is a space where you can figure out how to shine. You got to give yourself some room to do that. What you want in your space so you can shine better. If I'll say this, if Virgo is, well, it's in the 4th house in this chart. So let's just say if Virgo is in your 4th house, that has to do with your home space, your roots, where you come from, like family, stuff like that, immediate family, but also the roots you put down so you can, you know, whatever fruit you produce is going to come from that. It also has to do with like our innermost self, our most private self that nobody really sees except us. Like, it's even the person that you're most connected to probably doesn't see all of this space. Like, this is when you're like deep in your own thoughts and feelings and stuff. It's almost like I don't say your inner dialogue, your inner voice, but it's your inner feelings, the stuff that you kind of sort through and before you communicate it to the people that you're closest to. So if Virgo is in this space, how do you create this space for yourself? I would say you probably need a solitary space where it can just be you, something very comfortable physically, obviously. Maybe a little spiritual or woo-woo or whimsical, something that is very imaginative, place where you can, you know, do yoga or meditation or just imagine things or think about things or that sort of thing. That's just one example. if you want to let me know where Virgo is in your chart or what your rising sign is, then I can tell you where Virgo is, and I'll let you know too. So we want to create the space for ourselves to think, so we can develop our self-expression, so we can get better at expressing ourselves, so we can be discerning about who we express ourselves around, like hone your skill sort of self-expression. And it's something that is not just, like I said, it's a state of being. So it's not just something that you're going to do every once in a while, because Virgo's also about taking things apart, right? Because we're looking at the details, we're analyzing it. So what are we analyzing it for? Like, what's the opposite of taking it apart? Putting it back together, which is Pisces, which is across from Virgo, right? So we're going to integrate this with our life. It's going to become part of who we are, not something separate from ourselves. Something that we can accept, because this full moon is about working on our self-acceptance. I mean, this new moon is about starting a new cycle of self-acceptance. I always say new when I mean full, and full when I mean new. That's just a thing, I guess. So it's not separate. Like Pisces is like the ocean. There's so many different parts and like ecosystems in the ocean, and different sorts of animals and plants and everything, but they all just flow together. Like, where does one stop and the other one begin? It doesn't. Pisces is this all-encompassing place of like the whole. So that's kind of what we want to use our self-acceptance for. Like, it's not just, you don't want it to be something that you say, okay, I'm going to accept this part of myself and this part of myself and this part of myself. No, these are all parts of the whole you. That's the main goal. The North Node and the South Node are in Pisces and Virgo right now. With this new moon being in the same sign as the South Node, I know we've talked before, especially when the Virgo full moon happened and the eclipses and stuff, that South Node Virgo stuff is like, what do we need to, what is not serving us in Virgo, the sign of service, right? The things that are not literally, it's like not serving us squared. Because the South Node is always, you want to think about the things that aren't serving you, but Virgo is also about service. So the things that are really not serving you, it's easy to get critical. It's easy to judge yourself. It's easy to beat yourself up or become hyper fixated on this one thing. When I tell you the amount of times I have relived moments in my head, like, I cannot believe I did that. I should have done this. I should have said that. I should have not said anything or done anything. I probably look so stupid. People probably thought I look so stupid. I feel like I look stupid. That's the sort of stuff that you want to avoid. That's the things you want to get rid of. What you did before, if you did do something stupid, so what? There's no such thing as a stupid question. There's no such thing as a stupid action. Well, it's common sense or whatever. But if we're trying to learn something, then ask whatever question you need to. Do whatever thing you need to. If I'm trying to learn how to write a book, guess what? I'm not going to create every sentence perfectly. Some of them are going to sound pretty stupid. That's okay, because I have to get through those to get to the good ones. Like, I have to figure out how to do it. I can't just, it's not like a sculptor can just go and then, oh, there's this great Renaissance sculpture that people are going to be talking about in 500 years and it's going to be in a museum somewhere. It doesn't work like that. You have to learn how to do it. Virgo is about learning how to do it and having the self-awareness to not beat yourself up, understanding that it's just part of the process. Once you start beating yourself up, you are suppressing your self-expression. All of that stuff that the Leo full moon taught us about just being ourselves and expressing ourselves, if you start beating yourself up when you are expressing yourself, guess what? You're going to stop expressing yourself. You're going to dim your shine, and that's not what we want to do. If the development is to continue, you have to let it develop. You have to, let it turn into what it's supposed to turn into. So none of that judgment stuff, right? Pisces, the whole self-acceptance thing, don't look at it as a mistake. Look at it as, I learned how to not do it. Oh, well, I know to do it this way because can't do it that way. It sort of like gives you the guidelines to stay in. I'm trying to think of something super crafty. Like okay, I'm not very good with Microsoft Word, right? So I'm going to do things that might not be the right way as I'm learning to do it. And that's okay, because then when I'm in that same situation again, I can say, oh, wait, I need to do this thing. And I'm getting to the point where I need to add that thing in. So I better do this now because I know that if I don't, then it's going to be a lot of extra work for me later. You see what I'm saying? So actually, when you do something that you think is wrong, it saves you time and work later because you don't have to worry about messing up later. So you're like helping your future self. That's how you can think about it. When you do something that you think is a mess up, or is when you're being super judgmental and critical of yourself for something, your future self is like, no, thank you for pointing that out to me. Otherwise, I wouldn't have known. That's all it is. That's all it is. Because how are we supposed to know until we know, right? Uranus, there's not a ton of aspects going on, but the couple of aspects that are going on are pretty, I would say they're a pretty big deal. Uranus is up here at 1 degree of Gemini, and it's squaring this new moon. So when you're trying to find this place where you can think about whatever it is, where you can be self-aware and sort of figure things out, whatever it is you want to figure out when it comes to being yourself, Uranus is like the lightning strike. It's like the thing that cracks the tension, like static electricity, or like there's this buildup of energy and then Uranus comes through and it's like boom, and then all the tension is gone. And it can be like, ouch. I always think of Uranus like a chiropractor because you might not know that something is even out of place, but it comes through and like revolutionizes your spinal alignment. And it's like, oh my God, I can walk so much better now. I didn't even realize I wasn't able to walk like I needed to, or whatever it is. It can be, that's just a personal anecdote sort of, but it can be on a societal level. It comes in and let's start a revolution sort of thing, or it can give you a revelation. I feel like Neptune and Uranus are kind of like the muses. Neptune is more like the flowy, works with you, and Uranus is busy. So it's just like, hey, here's an idea. Oh, here's an idea. Here's an idea. It's that kind of muse inspiration. And in Gemini, there's a lot, it's the awareness. There's no limit to the awareness that Uranus has to choose ideas from to bring to you. And this might be a struggle right now because you're trying to focus. The new moon is in Virgo, right? So your self-reflection has to do with, what do I need in my space? What sort of area can I create for myself so I can think, so I can process, so I can analyze, so I can figure things out, so I can do my planning, so I can make my to-do list, so I can whatever. And Uranus might be giving you too many ideas, or you might be like not even knowing where to look because there's so much. It's like having too many options. You don't even know, like you're not looking at all because there's just too many, right? Or it's like, oh, I'm trying too many different things. So it can either be too much motion or no motion at all when it comes to choosing which idea you want to try, because there's just so many of them. And then there's like Neptune and Saturn are up here in Aries, right? And they're sextile in Uranus. So that's like they're getting each other excited to work together. So you've got Saturn and Neptune. Remember, they're helping you create the thing that you're imagining. They're helping you bring structure to it and define it and make it real. And in Aries, it's sort of like this urge for action. Yeah, let's do this. Let's go. Let's go. That can be overwhelming, right? It's like, whoa, hold on, calm down, calm down. And then Pluto is in Capricorn, and it's sextiling Saturn and Neptune as well, so they're excited to work together. I feel like this, how it can work in our favor, it can also, especially when we're sort of being judgmental on ourselves, like with the new moon being in Virgo, it's much easier to hyper focus on something. It makes me feel like mania. That's sort of the vibe that I get from this. Like it's easy to fall into a mania, and that's not what we want to do, obviously, because it can seem like a fun place to be when you're there, because it's like, oh, you can get all the things done. It's really not sustainable. And Virgo it's about finding the thing, like developing the thing so it can sustain you for a long time. It's about learning to fish forever, not about how many fish can we catch right now and how many different kinds and how many fishing poles can I go buy from Amazon. It's not about that. Pluto is sextiling these guys too. I feel like Pluto might, like this is making it easy to get real psychological and go very deep with this. With a judgmental sort of energy that Virgo can bring, if you don't check your self-awareness, if you're too critical on yourself, Pluto might bring in a little bit of fear. Oh no, I used a 4-letter F word. It can make things kind of dark, because the deeper you go, the darker it gets. You got to check that. Use your self-awareness. Virgo is an objective place. It's not a subjective place. Keep your focus on, you got to have like a clear perception. Like, is that really important? That doesn't have anything to do with what's going on right now. That happened 5 years ago, and what? Uranus? Are you crazy? Like, that doesn't even have anything to do with it. Go find something else. Pick something else. Different idea. Thank you. These are your planets, right? You sort of, you control them. You tell them what to do. Like, you have your feelings. Yeah, they can get out of control and they can overwhelm you, but that's why we have Venus, to help us regulate ourselves. Mars helps us assert ourselves. Venus helps us calm down and get back to that homeostasis, right? So don't let yourself get hyper fixated and focused on this one little detail that can bring you into like this, we'll call it a dark mania. We don't want that to happen. I'm not saying it will, but just something to be mindful of. So if we sort of take Uranus out of here for a second, we're not going to worry about him. He's going to do what he wants to do anyways. We've got this sextile between Neptune and Saturn, and then Pluto. Now, because of this sextile, and it's going to be going on a long time between Neptune and Pluto, but now Saturn's in here too. Anything that comes to this point down here at the beginning of Virgo, like I would say within like 3 degrees on either side of 1 degree Virgo, is going to be a focal point for this Saturn, Neptune, and Pluto energy. So that means these guys that are so excited to work together, which is a good thing because I said Pluto in Capricorn. I meant Pluto in Aquarius. I'm sorry. Pluto in Aquarius, that helps us realize, do the psychological work when it comes to how we've been conditioned by society or just by people outside of us, right? And it is what it is. It's just what happens when you're in the world, like people have an effect on you. So it helps you sort of unpack some of that psychological stuff, right? And then Saturn and Neptune are over here helping you build the thing that you want, that you can imagine, right? They're helping you bring what it is, the what ifs. What if my life was like this? They're helping you bring that to life. And Pluto is like, yeah, this is a truer expression of you, right? This is you without the societal conditioning. Take that energy and push it into the objective self-awareness that we find in Virgo. Let's say you're decorating your space, that your thinking space, that's what we're going to call it, your thinking space. You're decorating your thinking space and you're like, oh, I should paint the walls green because green is a color that geniuses pick. So I should probably do that. I think, yeah, that's going to feel good. Oh, but wait a minute. Pluto says, wait, where did you hear that from? Why do you think that? You know why I said that? Because it was in that movie Meet the Fockers. Because he rented a green car and the dad was like, well, why did you pick green? Geniuses pick green. Maybe it's something like that got stuck in your head. Do you really even like green? Just little stuff like that. Question yourself and your choices, but in a good way. Like, why did I choose that? Why do I like this? But don't what's the word I'm looking for? Don't go down the rabbit hole with it, I guess you could say. Like, just, if it were me, I would sort of make a list of, I would start out with categories like things I like to see, things I like to smell, things I like to taste, things I like to hear, things I like to touch. And it could be this one specific candle, or it could be, I like things that smell like bakery treats, cinnamon rolls and coffee and cupcakes and that sort of thing. Or it could be like, I like this one specific candle from this one specific shop. It doesn't matter, whatever it is. And I would sort of see how I can incorporate those things, bring something from that into the space. There's a trick here, I feel like, a way we can sort of anchor this energy. And I talked about it a little bit with the making the categories of the things you want, because I really feel like this chart, this new moon is so Venusian, even though Venus is kind of down here, not really making any aspects to anything. She's just chilling in the background, doing her thing. But there's like an influence of Venus because we're talking about self-awareness. And you can't really do self-awareness until you do self-acceptance, right? That's what Venus is. Like, when you're calming yourself down, when you're focusing on the things that you like, the things that you don't like, you have to accept that this is the thing that you like. I want this in my space because I like it. I know that sounds very simple, but it's worth pointing out. Like, you are accepting yourself as you are, that you have needs and wants and desires, and you're accepting that as part of who you are. Those are the things that we want to bring into our space. You want to create a space that caters to your needs and wants and desires so you can do something with your needs and wants and desires. Like, this is what I want to be in life. This is what I do in life. This is what I want to feel in life. So you see how Venus gives you the thing to work with, and you pull that Venus energy into your Virgo space, and then you can push it back out into how you express yourself, how you be yourself. That's how the flow goes. This whole wheel right here is just a cycle of how things progress and flow through life naturally without any interference on our part. Of course, you can always like block things, but if there were no blockages, like, this is how it would go. So you remember when I said Pisces was like this place of like total acceptance of yourself? Virgo is where we break things down. Pisces is where we put them back together and we accept the whole thing. We see the whole thing. We accept it as a whole. Venus is about self-acceptance, accepting yourself as a whole. So there's a connection there. And I like to find those connections when I'm doing astrology stuff because I feel like that's the gold, that's the good stuff. That's the thing that's going to help you. So we see this pattern of self-acceptance here, right? So I would say, where's your Venus in your chart? Who is your Venus? What is she like? What does she want? What does she want to do? What does she want to feel like? What does she desire? What are her needs? That's going to tell you kind of how to work this. That's going to be your key. And if you want to talk to me about that, and I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Just reach out. Venus is like the things that you love, you know. Jupiter, I think, comes into play too because Jupiter rules Pisces. And Jupiter just happens to be close to Venus right here. They're not super close, but it's still showing up, right? In the same areas where we're talking about self-acceptance. And Jupiter and Venus are related in this way, right? Like, Venus is your wants, needs, desires, the things that you connect with in that way. Jupiter is like your potential. It's your capacity for more. Jupiter is more. Where are you sort of not allowing yourself to connect with your needs and your wants and your desires? How can you allow yourself to just feel those things, to just feel more of your feelings, to feel more of, or to surround yourself with more of those things, or it could be like a mental space, it could be a physical space, it could be an emotional space. Like, there's levels, in any area where you feel like your needs and wants are where they don't have room to just go. Like you don't want to just take over anybody else's life or go overboard with your own life, but it's something to think about, you know. Where are you sort of selling yourself short? Where are you saying, like, I really like to write and I really like this. This is something I want. This is something that brings me joy. It's something that makes me feel good when I do, but I'm not giving myself a platform with that because blah, 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 whatever self-critical, self-doubt, Virgo shit is holding you back from that, right? That's what we're trying to get rid of. That's kind of the whole point. Get comfortable with your potential. How can you expect other people to accept you if you don't accept you? Or how can you even, I don't know, like, you can't accept yourself, but you accept others. Like, you deserve that same acceptance that you give to other people. And other people probably accept you a lot more than you think, but you're being so critical. I'm not saying like you are being so critical, but it's something that we do as humans. Don't judge your intuition. Your intuition will tell you this is right for me or this is not right for me. And I think if you sort of create that physical space to be in, no matter where it is, then it will give your potential room to be your potential. Jupiter is sort of doing this, this is called a semi-square. It's not a full square. It's a semi-square. It's like 45 degrees instead of 90. And it's like your potential is sort of awkwardly trying to fight its way out. And Uranus is like, what about this idea? What about this idea? What about this idea? And maybe your potential doesn't even know which direction it would take. Luckily, Virgo is direction. It helps us know which direction to go. It helps you find your path, your way. It creates the map, the blueprint, the plan. And that means it's also like a semi-square to the new moon, right? So same thing. Like, don't judge your potential. If you think, oh, I could do that because I love this thing and I could do this with it, don't get super critical of that. Or don't start like distracting yourself with all these other ideas or allowing yourself to become distracted with input from everywhere. Think about the things that you value that are worth something to you. This goes back to Venus. The things that you use to make yourself feel good. If it's something that doesn't make you feel good, it sort of triggers you in some way. You're like, ugh, I don't like that. Ugh, I really don't like this color. It's not part of the plan. Get rid of it. How are you selling yourself short? Get rid of it. Being critical of yourself, like when you project criticism outward toward yourself and your ideas and your decisions that you've made, like the color of your room or the work you've done or the thing you said, that's self-doubt. That's how self-doubt shows up in the world. It comes out as criticism. And we're trying to get rid of our self-doubt. When you get rid of the self-doubt, you have a place where you can think and grow. And then this whole square deal with Uranus right here, that's how we overcome that challenge of which ideas do I choose from. There are so many ideas I can't even move because I don't know which one. Like there are too many. I don't know which way to go. Or there's so many coming in. I'm trying this. I'm trying that, and it creates this mania. It gets rid of that when you are connected with yourself and your own wants and needs and desires, and you don't have the self-doubt and the criticism and all that, and you're connected to what it is that you value. When you're connected to your own value, then you can create the space for yourself that so wants to be created right now. Like really, really wants to be created. And I would say that if you can, sometimes it's really hard to even acknowledge that because it's an unconscious thing, it's a subconscious thing. It's not something that we realize. New moon, right? That we want this, or we like this, or we don't like this, or don't want this, that we need something or don't need something. It's easy to ignore our needs and our wants and our desires, especially if you have other people in your life that you are responsible for or that you're accountable to. It's so much easier to just ignore the things that you need and want and focus on the things that they need and want. You have to take care of yourself so you can take care of other people. Virgo is about service. It's about learning to do the thing so you can do the thing. And that thing is going to be in service to someone else eventually, whether you realize it or not, whether that's your intention for learning the skill or trade or not. Like, the thing that you need to sustain yourself is also going to help somebody else in some way. You go to work, you have a job, you make a living, this is how you do your job. Did you have to get a degree to learn how to do your job? Did you have to learn a trade to know how to do your job? You built these skills and you did this thing so you could have a paycheck, so you could pay your bills. But what you're doing is also for somebody else. That's how commerce works. Virgo is ruled by who? Mercury? Commerce? Okay. There you go. It's just how everything is connected together. So choose something that makes you feel good when you're creating your space so you can think, so you can figure out what it is you want to do, how it is you want to go about things, whether it's your life path, career choices, or it's just somewhere where you can make your daily to-do list, or just somewhere where you can study this thing that you want to study. Create that space and intentionally root it in what you need from it. That's what I have. Yeah. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you have any questions. If you want to tell me about some of your experiences with this stuff, I would love to hear it. If you have anything to add to what I said, or if you have another point, I would love to hear that too. So I'll see you guys in a couple weeks when we have our full moon in Pisces, and it's going to be an eclipse. I'm not going to get to see the eclipse. It's going to be in the other part of the world than where I am, but it's going to be fun to talk about. So I'll see you then.